Good evening, I hope everyone's well today. Thank you for watching, it is appreciated as always. Housekeeping first, we've had a couple of victories for Reform UK overnight. Craig Holmes, Redcar, Cleveland Council. Matthew Winfield in Wycherven Council. And Lee Duffy in Northamptonshire North Council. Very good, all positive signs, I'm sure they're going to do good things. The average vote share for all three was over 50%, which is telling and it's welcome. So that's the first thing I want to say. I want to talk a little bit about Empire and legacy of Empire. I put a post out on my channel earlier this week, and it was about the 1948 British Nationality Act. In 1948, without referendum, debate, or consent, the British political elite passed the British Nationality Act, granting citizenship to millions from the collapsing empire. It was a move rooted not in democratic principle, but in post-imperial vanity. We're going to get into that with the Liberals in a bit. Faced with the loss of global dominance and influence, the Westminster class attempted to preserve Britain's fading influence through the illusion of Commonwealth unity. What they fact-engineered was an uncontrolled wave of mass migration, the Windrush generation, the consequences of which have utterly transformed the social and cultural fabric of the nation, without a single vote being cast in its favour. So that's the backdrop to this video, and this is what we're going to get into. Two specific Liberals, both children of empire, but in different ways. We're going to get into the first one first of all. Patsy Stone herself, Joanna Lumley, who I've always had time for. I still do. She's a good actress. She's really, really funny. But her takes are really bad. So we're going to get into this now.
But I wonder if that would be right now. I have such I'm an immigrant. I was born in India. I've got my British papers signed at home to show that I belong. So I'm very wary of all this judging people. I think it's detestable. Our energy in the world should be, again, looking out. We should see why people have to leave faraway countries and prefer to come here. It's usually because of climate change has made their lands untenable.
No, not really, love. Not really. Basically, we had, up until the mid-90s, a functioning country, a cohesive society, a great economy, and homogenous, all fighting and wanting the same thing. People from foreign climes and climates can't actually see that in their own country, so they think, why make my country great? Why make my country better? I can move to a ready-made country. That's what it is. So economic opportunity. So rather than build their own country up, they think, no, sod that. What I'm going to do is I'm just going to jump over the water. I'm going to jump through the continent of Europe and get to Britain for the free stuff.
All strife and conflict and hatred and division has made their country unlivable in. And so why don't we all in this world try to make these colossal areas of the world safe to live in again, pleasant to live in? Why don't we have reverse osmosis and use desalination plants to water the desert so plants can grow, so trees can grow, so places can turn back to the forests they once were?
Isn't that a bit about the foreign aid budget? Isn't that why we give foreign aid? It's almost like the aid goes to the wealthy elites in the impoverished countries and doesn't get to where it needs to be. That's what I would say.
Why don't we try to do that rather than setting up boundaries and walls to block people out? We're not thinking straight.
We are thinking straight. You're not thinking straight. You're the typical lefty, lovey liberal. This is the issue. These are the nut jobs that run the country. They think it's Britain's problem to cure the entire world's ills. It's not our problem, and it's your fucking inflated ego that can't see it. Pardon the language.
Are you one of those people who has felt at the moment that they actually need to dip out of the news because news is so grim, or do you stay involved?
Well, I'm a bit hooked on it because I'm so terrified, because it seems to be happening very, very fast. In the old days, maybe you'd get some story of interest. I don't mean that, but you know what I mean? Of major interest once every 3 weeks. Now it can happen twice a day. And because of the volatility of the decisions of the President of the United States.
Yeah, Yeah, he makes really, really bad decisions, does our Donald, doesn't he? Orange Man, bad mentality, of course.
And the menace that comes from Russia and the difficulties in the Middle East, in Gaza and Israel. And then the eye swivels right away from places like Darfur and Yemen and all the regions which are, I mean, Darfur is in the most catastrophic state, but because nobody can get there, nobody knows how many million people are dying of starvation there.
Why? Because the white man, the colonizer, isn't directly responsible. So when you get these Free Palestine or Free Palestine marches all over the country, it's not about Gaza. It's not about Muslims being killed. It's about the fact that Israel is by and large a product of colonial enterprise putting the Jews back in their historic homeland after World War II. And that was by the League of Nations. I believe they designated Britain to oversee that, and America was involved as well. So when you see all of these protests, it's not pro Gaza, it's anti West, it's anti Israel, it's anti colonist. That's my view. Comment below if you think I'm right or wrong on that. But this is the warped mindset of the liberal.
And the slaughter that's going on there. And these are horrifying things, and you get drawn into it. Sometimes you have to just take your head smoothly away.
Well, that's the full clip. But the important bit is the first part that she goes into, which she says she's an immigrant.
The Gurkhas, but I wonder if that would be right now. I'm an immigrant.
No, she's not. That's the key point. She's not an immigrant. Bit of context on Joanna Lumley, our friend Joanna Lumley. Alright? First of all, we need to look at Rudyard Kipling. He created the Jungle Book. He was born in British India. He's an English journalist, novelist, poet, and short story writer who's born in British India. Does the fact that he was born in India make him Indian? According to Joanna Lumley, it does, but it doesn't. It really doesn't, and that's the thing that we're calling out here. Then we get on to the next one, which I'll bring up now. Joanna Lumley herself is not an Indian. Oh, hang on. She was born in India on the 1st of May 46 to British parents under the British rule, colonial rule. Her father, Major James Rutherford Lumley, was a British military officer stationed in India. So, very first of all, you need to be aware that when you get to the rank of officer in the imperial military, as it was back then, you're of a certain type. You'll never get a working class general or a military leader. So she's of money, she's of the upper class, or at least the upper middle class. That is her stock, that is her background. You can tell by the way that she speaks. Her mother, Beatrice Rose Weir, was also British. Lumley's ethnicity is British, and she identifies as British, even though in the video there she says she's an immigrant. Having spent most of her life in the UK, being born in India does not make her Indian by nationality or ethnicity. Alright? She's using it to make a very, very weird argument. The fact that she was born there doesn't make you of that country. Otherwise, Rudyard Kipling wouldn't have been run out of the country when they reclaimed control of their own nation. That's very, very important. And now the next one I'm going to get on to is this tosser right here, Lenny Henry. Sir Lenny Henry, sorry. Okay, he's been knighted by the crown. Restitution to the tune of 18 trillion is the only way to end racism within Britain, the comedian asserts. Let's just have a look now in his new book, The Payback. Alright? So a bit about Lenny Henry. He's from Jamaica, or his family's from Jamaica. He was born in the United Kingdom. This is under the British Nationality Act of 1948, which essentially gave the Commonwealth, or former Empire countries, citizenship rights in the United Kingdom. After all of his time in the UK, him being born here and his parents from Jamaica, alright, he still identifies with his historic homeland, being Jamaica, which is why he's happy to offer us, the majority population of his country of birth, which is the United Kingdom, as somehow complicit and guilty in slavery. I wasn't involved in that. Most working class, if not all working class, did not profit from empire. We had nothing to do with empire. This has nothing to do with us. In fact, you could say that Lenny Henry himself, being born in the United Kingdom to parents from the Commonwealth, former empire, benefited from coming to the United Kingdom. Comedians, some find him funny, went up the hierarchy, went through all of the institutions, married a British woman, Dawn French. You could say that he should be the example of integration. He should be the poster boy. When they say that you get all of these immigrants from all over the world, former colonial power, the Windrush generation, all coming to Britain, the mother country, they would say that this person is the poster boy for the integration project. Look, integration can work. Look at this guy. He doesn't see it that way. He sees it as white man bad, black man good. That is racism. To tar everybody of a particular community with the same brush, to say that I'm complicit in slavery, I'm complicit in the sins of empire. If some people want to throw that stone and say, well, you're complicit. No, I'm not. Nobody of my social class had anything to do with that. All right? This reeks of basically reverse colonisation. And the liberal elites, like Joanna Lumley, will gladly say that she's an immigrant to sell that narrative, to sell that story, to sell that angle. The only reason Lenny Henry's parents were allowed to come to the United Kingdom was because the British were fundamentally betrayed in 1948 under a Labour government, giving carte blanche to anybody from the former empire to come to Britain. When Joanna Lumley is saying things like this, either she's really, really, really dumb, or she's being intellectually dishonest. And I don't know which it is. Either way, that's the betrayal here. When you get the Liberals on their soapbox thinking they're talking sense, well, no. All the British people who are abroad now, if their children are stationed with them in foreign countries and they're born over there and they're in the British military, that does not make them American if they're stationed in America. It does not make them Canadian if they're stationed in Canada. They are British. Alright? Now, if you like this video and you think that the woke celebrities need to do one, Lenny Henry is not getting a penny of reparations because he's very, very clear. He doesn't need to. He didn't need to because he's not white. It's only the white man that needs to pay reparations. Nobody else, nobody else, nobody else. It's disgusting. It really is. I'm no more guilty of slave trading than my parents were. If you find value in the video, consider sharing it. And I'll see you in the next video later on today.